The first thing you need to know is that the security camera didn't just catch a petty crime or some HOA drama you'd laugh about over coffee. No, what it caught was the exact moment Karen dragged my 15-year-old daughter, who uses a wheelchair, into the HOA's storage facility and chained the door shut from the outside. And I mean, locked it like she was stashing away old pool noodles. Except it was a terrified teenager in the dark. And when I came crashing through that metal door 45 minutes later, bolt cutters in hand, sweat pouring down my back, and found Natalie sobbing, stuck in that suffocating little room surrounded by pool equipment and cleaning chemicals, man, that's a sound you don't ever forget. Not in a million years. Now, you probably think that's where the story hits its peak, but the truth is, the moment I was hugging my kid in the sunlight, Karen and her little crew were already being surrounded by a ring of federal agents, right out in the parking lot, after months of tracking her kidnapping operation across state lines. And watching Karen's face, that flash of realization that she hadn't just crossed a line, but committed a full-blown federal crime against a disabled minor, while the FBI read her rights. I'll tell you, that was about as close as I've ever come to believing in real justice, even before the trial ever started. Yeah, that happened. Let me back up a second, just so you know I'm not the crazy one in this story. My name's Thompson Ward, and I live down in Fort Myers, Florida, in a gated community called Palmetto Bay Estates, one of those neighborhoods where golf carts outnumber real cars, and half the residents are arguing about tea times instead of politics. Now, most folks here are somewhere north of 60, so being a 42-year-old single dad with a daughter in a wheelchair, you kind of stand out. But the schools are good, and the one-story homes make life a whole lot easier for Natalie. My kid's brilliant, I mean genuinely smart and quick, with a sense of humor sharp as a tack. She's obsessed with marine biology, wants to study oceanography, and if you ask her about coral reefs, she'll talk your ear off. She just happens to have cerebral palsy and needs a wheelchair to get around, but that's not what defines her. Not by a long shot. Thing is, not everybody sees it that way. Karen definitely didn't. And if you've ever met the HOA type, clipboard, rules, absolutely zero empathy, you know the breed. I'm a paramedic for Lee County EMS, so my shifts are all over the place, and I live with the kind of stress you can smell in your own clothes. But Natalie's old enough to handle herself for a few hours, especially with our neighbor, Mrs. Patterson, checking in now and then. We've got routines, backup plans, medical alert systems, you name it. 3 years in this place without a single problem. Then, on some scorcher of a Thursday afternoon in September, Karen decides that my disabled teenager using the community pool is somehow a violation of HOA standards. Yeah, you heard me right. I was on shift, sweating through my uniform, while my phone buzzes on a rare break. Text for Natalie, then another, then a call. I step out, thinking maybe she needs help with the TV or something, and all I hear is, "Dad, I need help. I'm locked in the storage building by the pool. It's dark. I can't get out. Please come get me." There's panic in her voice, not just scared, but the kind of fear you can feel in your own bones. My blood went cold. What? Natalie, what happened? I'm already moving toward my supervisor. The HOA lady said I wasn't allowed to use the pool, made me leave, then pushed me in here and locked the door. Dad, I'm scared. It's hot. I can't breathe right. I just told my supervisor it was a family emergency. Didn't wait for an answer. I broke every speed limit on the books between the station and Palmetto Bay, talking to Natalie the whole way, promising I was coming. Can you see anything? No, it's completely dark. There's stuff everywhere. Pool floats, chemicals. It smells bad. Dad, why'd she do this? I don't know, honey, but I'm 5 minutes away. I called 911 while driving, told them my disabled daughter was being held against her will by someone claiming HOA authority. The dispatcher didn't mess around, said units were on the way. I blew through the front gate, barely slowing down, straight to the community pool. The storage building's this cinder block thing with a roll-up metal door, but now there's a thick chain and padlock like it's Fort Knox. I can hear Natalie crying inside. I'm here, baby. I'm getting you out. Back to my truck, grabbed the bolt cutters, snapped the chain on a third try, metal biting into my hands, and yanked that door open. The heat hit me first. It must have been over 100 degrees in there. Natalie's sitting about 10 feet inside, wheelchair jammed between boxes and pool supplies, face streaked with tears, breathing hard. I dragged her out into the sunlight, heart hammering in my chest. Checked her over, made her drink some water, cooled her off. She was shaken, dehydrated, scared out of her mind, but okay, physically at least. Who did this? I asked, and she said, the HOA lady, blonde, wearing a purple suit. She came to the pool while I was swimming, told me disabled people weren't allowed without supervision. I told her you knew I was here, but she said I was violating regulations. She made me get out, then told her guys to push me into the storage building. They locked it, and she chained it. Dad, they just left me. That's when the cavalry arrived, 2 Lee County Sheriff cruisers, then 2 more, then an unmarked sedan with a couple of folks flashing federal badges. The lead deputy, Collins, a big guy with a tired face, took my statement first, then Natalie's. Her description matched. Purple suit, golden blonde hair, 2 guys with her, 1 big, 1 skinny, both carrying tablets and acting like they ran the place. I said, she chained a disabled kid in a storage building in this heat. That's attempted murder, hate crime, you name it. Collins nodded, jaw clenched. We're taking this extremely seriously, Mr. Ward. But I need you to stay calm while we sort this out. Then the feds stepped in, FBI Special Agent Lisa Chun. Turns out, they've been tracking Karen for months. Apparently, she'd been running an extortion and fraud ring across Florida HOAs, collecting fake fines, and when people refused to pay, she'd started physically detaining them. She'd already done it in Sarasota. My 911 call with those keywords, disabled minor, HOA official, pinged their system. Natalie described Karen perfectly. Purple suit, mid-50s, drove a silver Lexus SUV. They showed her a photo. Yep, that's her. Agent Chin nodded. That's Karen Whitmore. We've got warrants in 3 counties. She usually works with Dale Simmons, the muscle, and Craig Hoffman, the paperwork guy. Both have records. Meanwhile, the deputies pulled up the security footage, clear as day, Karen striding in a frame, yelling at Natalie, then telling her goons to push her into the storage building and chaining the door herself before driving off in that Lexus. Collins turned to Agent Chun. That's kidnapping, false imprisonment, child endangerment, disability discrimination under Florida statute, and about 6 federal charges on top. Chun got on a radio. All units, suspect in a silver Lexus, Florida plates, likely still in the area. They set up a perimeter. They found her less than 30 minutes later, 3 miles away at a Starbucks, sitting outside with Dale and Craig, sipping iced coffee like she didn't have a care of the world. Totally oblivious. And the arrest? Man, it was something out of a movie. 6 sheriff units, 2 FBI vehicles, helicopter overhead. Karen looks up, coffee halfway to her lips, and sees she's surrounded. First thing she says, I have authority. Second thing, I want my lawyer. Neither worked. All 3 hauled off in cuffs. Natalie had to come in to make a formal statement, scared but steady as a rock. She picked them all out of a lineup, clear as day. When the federal prosecutor explained that Karen was being charged with kidnapping across state lines, since she'd pulled this in Georgia and Alabama before, Natalie looked at me, nodded, and said, good. The case moved fast. The evidence was overwhelming. Security footage, 911 recording, Natalie's testimony, FBI records, medical evaluation showing how close she came to heat stroke. Karen Whitmore got hit with the works: kidnapping, child endangerment, disability hate crimes, wire fraud, extortion, operating a criminal enterprise. Her henchmen, too. The trial lasted 2 weeks. The defense tried to say Karen thought she had authority. It was just a misunderstanding, but when the jury saw the footage of her chaining the door shut on a disabled teenager, that was it. Guilty on all counts. 90 minutes of deliberation. Karen got 18 years, no parole. She'll be 73 if she lives that long. Dale got 10, Craig got 7. The FBI clawed back over $130,000 she'd swindled from other families. Everybody got restitution. But what mattered more, at least to me, was that Natalie didn't let it ruin her. We did the therapy, we talked it out, she faced her fear. And you know what? She went back to that pool. She kept swimming, kept chasing her dreams, Never let what happened that day turn her into a victim. The real Palmetto Bay HOA sent formal apologies, updated their policies, installed panic buttons in every facility, made sure this would never happen again. I still run 911 calls, still try to save strangers, but now I know sometimes the emergency is right in your own backyard. Sometimes the person who needs saving is your own child, locked in the dark by someone who thinks authority is a license to terrorize. Karen thought her purple suit and fake credentials gave her power, thought she could keep jumping from state to state, cashing in on fear, targeting the vulnerable. She never counted on a dad with a pair of bolt cutters and enough sense to call 911, or on a bunch of cameras catching every move, or on the FBI showing up before she finished her coffee. And she sure as hell didn't count on a 15-year-old girl with cerebral palsy who stood up in court and told the truth until a room full of seasoned prosecutors got misty-eyed. 18 years. That's a long time to think about the day you tried to disappear a disabled kid and instead got the whole system crashing down on you. Natalie's 16 now, still swimming, still dreaming, still the strongest person I know. And every time I watch her roll up to that pool, free and unafraid, I remember protecting the vulnerable isn't optional. It's everything. So tell me, have you ever seen someone abuse their authority against a disabled person, or watched an HOA try to bully the ones least able to fight back? Share your story down below. Let folks know they're not alone. And if you think justice still matters, or you've ever had to fight for what's right, hit subscribe, because in my world, disability never means helplessness. Not when you've got a family, the FBI, and just enough stubbornness to see things through.